Good evening, everybody. I am Todd Standing, doing my last August live show. Wow, where do we start? Start by looking for people. I always have some trouble doing this. So it's like every week is a new one. Live chat, all messages or video. If you're out there, give me a what's up, because I don't know why they're not showing yet. Let me get those chats up. Hopefully, my audio. Why? Anyway, while I do that, so I had a very good expedition with a few people last week. What is all this stuff? Not seeing anything going on yet. Super chat, top chat, all messages visible. How do I make the messages visible? Oh my goodness. Nope. I don't want to do that. What's going on? Whoa. There we go. The messages are visible. And there am I. Hello, Ashley. Oh, and I just got my party broken by my nice fat Rari. Oh my goodness. You gonna cause trouble today? There's everybody popping up now. So anyway, like I was saying, the my last expedition was just amazing. Three expeditioners. It was Ashley was out with me, doing an amazing job as always. She's my new colleague, partner out in the field, and two expeditioners that were new. One from Chicago, and hey Christopher, hey Michael, and the other one was from Minnesota. And the Minnesota gentleman is it was a second time out, and that jerk sees a Sasquatch. He had an amazing sighting last time he was out last year. He had another fantastic sighting this year. Hey Frank, and I'm just jealous of him. That's amazing. Because you know what? This is what I've been telling people. This is the truth. They all saw a Sasquatch and I didn't. I had some live interactions that were amazing, but I didn't actually eyewitness a Sasquatch, and all three of them did. But it goes to my stats, right? That's 100% of the people that came out saw a Sasquatch, and I don't include myself in those stats. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Pamela. How's it going? So let's start with some good questions here, though, guys. Knowing that I had a really good expedition last time, and lots of things that happened were very fortuitous. I hurt my leg, and I kind of like blew my knee. Hey, Jamie, Janet, Heather, how's it going? I hurt my leg, and I got and one of the expeditioners and I just kind of got separated, and then so Ashley, who's a freaking beast and tough as nails, took off a little bit ahead, and so we separated for a bit, and then yeah, they saw a Sasquatch following us down the mountain, and she has a very poor photograph, but a photograph nonetheless. And they saw the Sasquatch running around, and then I heard him when I was with the expeditioner. I thought it was. I'm still beardless. I'm gonna stay that way for a while. I like shaving and feeling my face, but yeah, I heard the Sasquatch approaching, and Minnesota. Hey, I just took an expeditioner up from Minnesota. Hey, Sasha, and so hey, Jamie, Robert. What's up, guys? I need questions, though, guys. Questions. I love questions. You guys are always amazing for your questions. But anyways, I there were black bear tracks all over the place, and yeah, I assumed it was a black bear that was kind of charging at us. But then what happened was some large individual, some large predator charged towards us, and then moved off and charged again and moved off. And this is not bear behavior. And but I was concerned for the safety of the expeditioner that I was with, because there was so much bear activity in the area, and lots of talk about the beard guys. And then yeah, when I got out, Ashley and the Minnesota expeditioner was like, "We saw a Sasquatch following you," so it was pretty cool. And then just lots of other things was going on, but we'll save that stuff. Lots of that stuff's gonna be in the documentary. I'm not doing anything with the picture. The picture needs to be analyzed. I'm not just pumping a picture out there. It needs to be analyzed. It needs to be looked at hard, and there's just lots of stuff I have to do. I'm not just irresponsibly throwing a picture out there. Lots of people want to see the picture, and I'm not putting it out there. I'm going to put it in the documentary, but that means there's going to be a lot of work I put into it. I just, again, Try to understand that you guys who are fans and supporters of mine, which I am deeply deeply grateful for, you guys are getting the 411 before anybody else, right? You know, you're gonna know more about the backstory and know about how it all happened, but I still have a responsibility to do the documentary, and I really 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 want to make sure that the analysis of the photograph is really well done, and I have no time for analysis right now. So yeah, hey Cameron, thanks for the beard. Robert's asking what happened to the BC lawsuit. They just it didn't happen. It's I can't do it in BC anymore, which really sucks because I had judges and wildlife officers and police officers all that were going to come testify, as well as PhDs and all these amazing people. But in BC, I only got one shot at it, as far as I know, and they refused to let. What happened was they weren't interested in evidence, which is what I thought they were. They were interested in precedents. So precedence gets you to trial, and then evidence wins you the trial. And I was just showing them evidence, and there is no precedent for what I do. So just had a little hiccup there. When you're doing something brand new, you can't get it through trial. So I guess there's a way you can attach something significant in some other way to that would apply to precedents to you. But I literally went into court with a knife, and it was a gunfight, and I didn't stand a chance, and my lawyer didn't know. There's so much you need to know about law, guys. When you're doing stuff like what I was doing, you really, how do I put it? If you can't get a great lawyer, if you can't get someone who has experience, you can't get justice. And no lawyer would represent me. The lawyer that I had was a family law guy, and he'd never been to Supreme Court before. And the lawyer that was versus us did nothing but Supreme Court. His job was Supreme Court cases. This was his fifth one that week. He knew the Supreme Court backwards and forwards. He knew the judges. He knew how to play this game, and he played it. And we didn't, literally. I came in there with a knife, going, "Let's have a fight," and he pulled out some guns and shot the heck out of us, right? So Mr. Lewis asked, why is it so hard to capture one of these people? If you mean capture them on footage, it's extremely hard. You never know when they're going to pop up, having them in focus, and it's so freaking hard. It's immensely difficult. They're so elusive, and they're so, I don't know, it's extremely difficult. So to capture one of them, as in like put them in a cage, forget about it. You'll die because there's a group of them. To capture, you have to understand in the zoos when when they come back with a baby gorilla, the whole troop of gorillas were killed to get that baby, because they all fought for it and they fought to the death. So silverback was killed, the mother was killed, blackbacks were killed. Half the troop was probably killed to get that baby, if not all of it. They annihilate a troop to get a baby. Do you want to do that? And except the problem is gorillas are peaceful vegetarians, and Sasquatch are skilled hunters and trackers, and highly intelligent, highly aware of their environment. You go try to capture one of them, you're in trouble, big trouble. And you could capture a lone Sasquatch. I'm sure there are rogue males that wander around, but how do you find that? I have enough trouble getting near a troop and finding a troop. And a rogue male, by definition, is rogue. He's all over the place. How are you going to account where he's going to be and to capture him? So, Frank, question for you from Frank. Being mind zapped. Opinion? My opinion, yes, they do that. My expeditioners, man, that stuff is happening on my expeditions like crazy. There's some incredible stuff happening with people in there getting mind zapped. I don't know. It's not paranormal stuff anymore, guys. Look at it's out there. Princeton did documentaries on it. Third Eye Spy is a documentary you got to watch. I mean, the psychic ability is absolutely real, and yeah, I don't know what it's, and the Sasquatch are zapping people and getting into their thoughts, and it's happening in my expeditions like crazy, and it's not a coincidence. Ashley's starting to see it because she's there all the time, and now she's seeing different people that are experiencing the same thing she experiences. My expeditioners have this dream where they wake up going, "Todd, help me, Todd, help me, Todd," and they can't move, and they're always trying to get help from me, and there's a reason for that. And the Sasquatch are scaring them, and the Sasquatch know that I'm there as the guide, and they're putting that in. It makes sense to me, and I understand it. And but pure science doesn't appreciate that because it's a little paranormal. So I'm sticking more to the John Bitternagel, PhD, my friend and mentor's scientific perspective, and with a little bit of art in it. The art of tracking, the art of feeling your way through the wilderness, the art of love and passion, skipping a little bit of the psychic stuff and third eye stuff, and just staying, closer to, because I want to attract good scientists and I don't want to scare them away, and I have that now. So, will we ever find pure Sasquatch DNA? Well, Andrew, I don't think that. If you know what I think you know, Andrew, see, I think what Andrew's saying is pure the DNA we're finding has female mitochondria in it, if that's what Andrew's trying to say. And we're talking 19 different female mitochondria sides. So the answer, Andrew, is I don't think it exists anymore, which sucks. Can you imagine if the Sasquatch that exist are part human, and what that's done to damage their original amazing, like, they'd be tougher and rawer and stronger. Humans are, I hate to say it, but our DNA is just going to damage them. I don't even think, maybe you could argue maybe it would make them smarter, and you'd really have to argue that point, and you'd probably lose the argument on that point. But yeah, the strength and the bodies and their abilities would be damaged because we're so pathetically weak, comparatively speaking. Heather says, "Do you still spend most of your time taking folks out?" That's what I'm doing right now, Heather. I've been doing that since June, July, August. So I have September and maybe a quick October expedition. So yes, that's what I'm focused on right now. If I'm not taking people out, I'm doing expeditions because I need to get some new success of some kind, and I'm hoping for new footage. Where were you being followed? General area? Well, in my research area, in Radium is, you know, it's in the area. We hiked up to. I showing the There was a little commercial break. That was a really good question. Where was it? So, again, so what I did was I took the expeditioners up to show them how hard the hike was, and where the area where I took Survivor Man was, where Survivor Man filmed the top of the head of a Sasquatch. In the second season, in the first season, we had an incredible action activity. So, hey Phil, how's it going? Thanks for coming on in to mediate. So I just gave him a general idea of how we were getting up there. We didn't get, we got to what I would call 80% up the mountain, and then we came back down. As we were coming down, we came down a different weird way, and it was the face of the mountain that the base camp actually looks at, that we had this incredible interaction. So hey, Australia, Joy. Okay, so here I am. So I'm gonna go. Got zapped. So I'm gonna go with Ashley. Do you think there's some deeper reasons why they are here, not just by chance? Well, they're an incredible miracle, Ashley. I mean, all species have a place, right? And with Sasquatch, you're talking about the apex species in wilderness. So, and they're deeply spiritual, deeply connected to nature. But I don't know if that answers your question. You have to be a little more specific. But a deeper reason. I mean, they're the masters of the wilderness. We're the masters of civilization, of technology, right? So this discovery is going to be such a miracle. Actually, it just blows my mind. Like, mind blown. The incredible, how amazing this is going to be. So, what about Scott Carpenter? I don't know anything about Scott Carpenter. Hello, Mr. Stanning from PA. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Joy from Australia. We must was just thinking of you. So glad to see you. Hope all is well. Thanks, Mutt Life. It's funny names, right? Crypto areas. Hey, Tammy. What do you think? They are a result of crossbreeding and testing facilities, crossbreeding DNA. Well, Tammy, I think they were bred. I think they bred with the Native Americans and the First Nations people, right? So it's not a testing facility thing. It's just what happened in nature. So Sasquatch is just the beginning of mankind, says Matthew. Heather, reality or strange channel. Okay, hey Holly. I heard there were several Bigfoot sightings down in Brazil about a month ago. Is that true? Well, you know what? I wouldn't think so, because I don't think they have Sasquatch down there. I think they have the Aloosh down there. In fact, they have the Aloosh down there, and there is no Sasquatch that I've ever heard. And I've talked to many locals from South America about that. Arth, is my expeditioner here? I think I just found Atar. If this is you, Atar, I'm going to make you a mediator. We might be being joined, ladies and gentlemen, by my friend Atar, who just came out on expedition with us. He, yeah, he had a sighting of a Sasquatch. He had an amazing expedition. It was a pleasure to work with him. Atar, if that's you, where are you from? It's got to be you, Atar. Can't be anybody else. So, anyways, Robbie says we have a cabin across the bay from Browser Colleges, and I had an awesome week sitting there last week. Cool. I mean, awesome. Thanks for that, Robbie. Say, Todd, what about their site to do? They think see colors the same. Okay, so do I think they see colors the same as us? No, I don't think so. They see so good at night that they're going to have, and I forget which it is, cones or rods. They're going to have more of the night vision capabilities and probably less capability to see colors. That's my theory because their night vision is so good. So, hey, from Bradley, Todd, I went to my research area yesterday and got whistles again every time I go out, roughly the same time. They also took a golf ball, tennis ball, rock that I gifted. Really, they never take any piece of technology. Like they would never take a tennis ball or a golf ball from me. A rock is cool, and very much congratulations. It's an honor to join you. Is that you, Atar? Chicago, that's my boy. So I'm making you a moderator. There you go, Atar. You have the ability to moderate, my friend. Atar is an expeditioner, a new friend and colleague. Man, did we have fun. I miss you guys already. We had such a wonderful expedition. He Atar has incredible insight. He's a weird guy, just like me. And yeah, he's been doing Sasquatch stuff. Man, he's connected. Oregon Sasquatch, and he's been out to other stuff. And the guy's just connected and got government connections. And so yeah, it was awesome hanging out with you, Atar. And I look forward to the next time we do things, which I'm sure will be very soon. So Frank says, I've been welcome to Midzap and welcome somewhere to go. I was hunting 100 miles. My apologies for the commercial break. Phil says, welcome aboard, Atar. My expeditioners, man, when we go out, we bleed together. When we struggle together, we go through trials and tribulations. And man, I went through trials and tribulations, Atar and I, boy. I really, I pushed him, he pushed me, and river crossings down mountains that were treacherous. And the man never complained, never did anything but smiled and was just in joy and love and reverence. So, SoCal Force Ninja, nice. Every time I go out, I find structures among other evidence. Do you think they are leading me to find stuff? SoCal Ninja, dude, I, as much experience, and I've been taught by John Benedigo, Survivor Man, the Native Americans. I've had incredible instructors and tutors. I've learned so much. Sasquatch are always teaching me stuff. I've never had a teacher that would even come near the level they're at. So when you humbly go out there and really try to be a great student and understand what they're, because yeah, if you're finding structures and whatever other evidence you're finding, learn, study it. When you go home, take pictures, look at it, figure it out, ask questions, because absolutely they're trying to teach you. They want you to, if they like you and they're putting these structures out for you, and only you can know that. If you go, wow, I'm in a spot only I go, and these are structures, and as long as it's not some person messing with you, then absolutely yes. They're to find stuff, to learn stuff, to communicate with you. I mean, yes, all of that stuff. That's absolutely yes. That's all I try to do when I go out is just try to learn from them. So my son asks, is Bigfoot invisible at times? Hello from Jackson. Hey, Mike H. There's theories about that, but no. So I have a video of a Sasquatch shaking a tree and then the bush moving, and I thought, damn, that jerk was like, it looks like he's invisible, but in truth, he was just kind of ducked down and moved through it. When I went out there to move through the bush, I could see that I was hidden. So, but no, again, I have colleagues and people that say they can become invisible, and the science behind that would be they'd hit you with infrasound, stun you, so you become dazed and then not be able to properly see, right? But I don't know. I haven't seen enough evidence of that. Although there's researchers that I really respect, and the people from Nia Bay, I will never like just say anything but glowing, amazing things about them. They believe that's a reality, so I really respect that opinion. Although I haven't seen anything to substantiate that yet. Does Bigfoot love the rain because it's raining here now and it sounds so beautiful? No. Big primates, gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, bonobos, all don't like the rain, and neither do Sasquatch. One time I ever had an interaction with the Sasquatch in the rain once. It was like an emergency, incredible, amazing interaction. And I remember being with an expeditioner, William, a firefighter captain that I took out, I came back and I was like, yeah, that sucks, man. It was just the Sasquatch aren't going to come around. They never come around in the rain. Then snap, bang, boom, there he was. So, but it was an exceptional amount of circumstances, and I understand why he did it. They wanted me to come back to radium, and I did come back to radium. So, do you think government has known about Sasquatch? Michael Colin, absolutely yes. They know all about it, 100%. Atara's there saying definitely for sure. I'm extremely convinced of it. So, extremely convinced of that. I emailed you recently about some of my encounters. I have also seen individual that has fur and possible shade of black. That's awesome, Stephen. Yeah, it should be it's a Bigfoot encounter at gmail.com. That all goes to Amanda, who's just totally amazing and goes through all that stuff and cleans it up and sends it back off to me. So yeah, that's cool. It has a fur an impossible shade of black. That's cool. Yeah, I've seen them jet black, amazing jet black. Why do you think the information and relevant of SQ has been suppressed from the global public? Oh, it's a long story. Whew. Just like imagine, okay, this is a short bit of it. In World War II, radar was such an important thing, and radar was discovered by through the species known as bats, the bat species. That's how we discovered radar. Everybody discovered radar at kind of the same time. If one government could have taken the bats and killed them all and kept radar for themselves, they would have had an enormous tactical advantage. With infrasound and the mind speak ability of a Sasquatch, never mind their genetic strength and their power and all the abilities they have, of course they're not going to want that information out. And of course they have specialized abilities. Just even bottom line, people like me, I can't get enough evidence to. I do think I have more than enough evidence to discover them, but it's not easy. It's so hard. I have to bust my ass to make this stuff happen because they're so amazing, and of course they're going to want to keep those that knowledge and that information secret. Why the government doesn't share anything unless they're absolutely forced to and they have to. So we got Bigfoot here in Rocky Mountain House, Alberta, to Brazeau Dam. Heard of him? Nathan, that's my Nordegg research site, dude. So the Brazeau Dam, Rocky Mountain House, Sunchild Indian Reserve, and Opeechee Indian Reserve. I trained there. So Nathan, you're in my backyard, bro. I know those Sasquatch. There's at least three troops over there, and Jeff Meldrum saw a Sasquatch in that general area. I mean, you're talking when you talk of Brazeau Dam from Nordegg to Hinton, you're talking, what is that? Thousands of square kilometers. Like, good luck finding my spot or the spot I was researching in. But Nathan, they're absolutely Sasquatch out there. It's a beautiful Sasquatch country, and yeah, there's multiple Sasquatch troops out there for sure. Todd, Brad Johnson has great information on Bigfoots. He's here on YouTube. Thanks, Janet. There's my bro Artur. Ashley again, how many miles would you say you guys hiked during an expedition? How many miles? Well, in a day, we hike. The human legs can't handle punishment every single day. So we hike one day, take a day off. And I just push people to whatever their maximum is. You know, and it's different because, we can hike maybe 15 miles in a day if the ground's flat. But now we're in radium and it's mountains. And, 10 miles in a day when you have to traverse and damn near rock climb half the time and the bush is dense is really hard. So it's just what we can do. So when I'm out with my expeditioners, we're a team. And as if it's and everybody's a link in the team. If somebody's out of shape and can't do the hike, then it slows everybody down. If everybody's killing it, kicking ass and tough, we go smoke it, right? So, but it's all good. It's not about being a great athlete anymore. Everybody has their place. Some people are less athletic, like I was saying. Some people are less athletic and more prone to be, really good thinkers and stuff. And some of the PhDs that I'm taking out are all about what's going on in their brain and deducing things. And it's all good, it's all good. So, and I don't want to be the guy. Come on, not working again. What the hell? So I'm frozen up here. I don't know if you guys can hear me. What is going on? Nothing's happening. Can you guys hear me? I hope you can. Totally frozen here. I don't want to answer that awesome question unless I know that it's actually functioning because I don't know if anybody can hear me right now. Oh, YouTube, you're so amazing. Okay, we're back for sure. I forgot the question. I got a little upset because everything was frozen. Oh yeah, I don't want my expeditions to be only people that are hardcore athletes that can come out. That is not cool. I want all types of people. So now I'm grouping people in expeditions based on their athletic ability. If you can kick some ass and go, I've got the hardcores coming in October, boy. These guys are badass, in shape as hell. The hardcores are coming. I got the hardcore expedition. I'm gonna drop these guys on the top of mount. We're gonna hike up to the top of a mountain and drop these dudes off, and they're all expeditioners that have been out either twice or one time before, and but again, I'm doing expeditions that people are can't even. We have bikes, we have electric bikes, and some people can't ride the electric bikes. I don't care, we'll drive around in a truck, and do little hikes. So what do we got here? Are tree structures to mark territory? Maybe sometimes, but more, what I do know is their response to a traumatic event. That's what I know. If we find hidden caves, will we find Sasquatch? Angela, we were just talking about hidden caves, like caverns, enormous caverns that water's coming out of the mountain. Will we find Sasquatch? I have no idea. Like, maybe if there's Sasquatch in those caves, but certainly you should go looking for them. Do you think Sasquatch has anything to do with the missing 411 cases? I only know about one missing 411 case, and it's absolutely authentic. So beyond that, I don't really study it because it's all about Sasquatch harming and hurting people, and I don't want to focus on that. Hey Tammy, North Olympics. I'm open to infrasound like tigers do in my close encounters. Yes, infrasound is very real. While I was in Ashley, while I was in LA Push area south of Nia Bay, hey, love Nia Bay. I noticed how absolutely thick and dense the forests were on either side of the roads. Doesn't surprise me Sasquatch is in that area. Yeah, Nia Bay too. Oh my God, and all the way. What is that? I guess west. No, it'd be east out of Nia Bay, all the way southeast and right out. Man, that's just Sasquatch awesome territory. Where do they sleep? Wherever they want. I don't know. Wherever they want, man. Wherever's comfortable. So, because, you know, Daniel, it makes me laugh because I know Sasquatch. Like, for example, they get up in the morning, they watch us get ready. It takes us an hour to eat breakfast and put our clothes on and brush our hair, brush our teeth, pack up food. I don't know. It takes all this time to do all the stuff we need to do. And I just imagine a Sasquatch, he just rolls out of bed or wherever he was sleeping, and that's it. He gets on with his day. So, would you say YouTube channel Sasquatch Ontario, Todd? What's your say? I don't wanna. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I never trust the government and our friends. Well, I don't make this. I don't like taking something paranormal, which Sasquatch is, and making it into a conspiracy. But hey, Wayne, shout out to England. Hi, Shelley. Robbie White, Todd, do you think all people are subject to infrasound equally? Or do you think some are more capable of receiving it? But yeah, absolutely. Well, infrasound, not so much. But when you talk about like extrasensory perception, like that's one of the reasons Ashley's having such good success because she's very sensitive to that. And I've noticed people that, and you never know where it's going to come. Daniel on this last expedition seemed to be the kind of guy that would just no interest in ESP, no interest in any kind of mind speak, and they just shocked him. They just kicked his ass and got into his head and scared the hell out of him. So I don't know. You just never know who's going to be more susceptible or not. But when it comes to that, so there's my brother Atar. I definitely recommend others check out the expeditions. You will definitely experience the forest people, and I'm not just saying that. Make sure you physically fit for the journey. Yeah, when Atar was his first expedition, he'll have much more, like, balance matters, agility matters, you know, all these things that it's so hard. Why did I abandon BC? Dave, my research site's in Radium, British Columbia now, so I didn't. I've focused on BC. Todd, how big was that Sasquatch that you experienced in your documentary that had its back to you? Oh God, yeah. Jesus Save Souls asked me how big it was. 9 foot six. No, I think 9 foot 6, 1,000 pounds. 950, 950 pounds. Says who? Says hello, Todd. With my deepest respect, I enjoy your videos. Thank you. Says who? Says who? SoCal Ninja. Hiya. I put a camera out when I went to retrieve it on the trail. I took it. Was barricaded with very large rocks, so barricaded I could not get through them. Were they keeping me from getting it back? Oh. And you gotta, you know what, SoCal Ninja? Don't think like a human being. Don't think like that. You really got to think outside the box. Try to think opposite of a human being. We go on trails, we stay on trails, they hate trails. They go in the forest, they like the blanketing of the forest, you know? We're all ostentatious and out there, we start fires, and they would never start a fire, and they don't need, and they fear technology, and we embrace it. I embrace technology, you know? So you really got to think about a being, even though they're so similar, even though they're the most man-like species on the planet, habitually they're very much the opposite of us, and you really have to start to think opposites. You really got to think opposite. And you know, we're not patient. What time is it? You got to get going, you got something to do. They're not like that. Things come to them. They'll sit in a spot for days and just relax and be at peace, you know. And so you really got to start thinking outside the box. Really imagine the way a Sasquatch lives. Think about how patient they are, how much they love their environment, how connected to the environment they are. Their feet never leave the earth. They don't want to walk on pavement. It feels disgusting to them. Now they're prescribing for people to walk around in nature barefoot because it connects them and balances you. And you know, the Sasquatch never lost that balance. They drink from the rivers. They don't take multivitamins, where all the nutrients, the iron and the copper and the zinc are all right in the water. I mean, they're so connected, man. And we're just so not. And you really got to think outside the box when you think about Sasquatch. Todd, can you please speak about their interdimensional abilities? Clint, they don't have any interdimensional abilities. I understand what two dimension, three dimension, a four-dimensional being on a three-dimensional plane is everything everywhere. So when people start talking about interdimensional, scientists really lose respect for us, because a three-dimensional being in a two-dimensional plane is everything everywhere. You know, a two-dimensional being in a three-dimensional plane is almost nothing nowhere. And I understand what two and three and four dimensions are. And when people start talking about that, you sound fraudulent, you sound like a dumbass, and people who know about physics will look at you and go, you don't know what you're talking about. They're not going from one dimension to another. That's preposterous. Two-dimensional beings, four-dimensional beings, three-dimensional beings are different. They live on different dimensional planes, and they don't coexist. So saying that kind of stuff just makes us look like we're a bunch of dumbasses. So it's all romantic and amazing, but the real truth, science behind it. I studied physics. I understand what interdimensional means, and it doesn't make any. It's ridiculous. So it's preposterous. They don't do that. I've never seen it. I have no evidence of it. It's just not the case whatsoever. So frustrating. I have decades of boots on the ground. I need to talk to you to share pertinent info, evidence in private. Well, Krish, it's bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Go there, send it, and I'd love to have a chat. So, why is the government hiding this information? I already talked about that. Do you have a dog, Todd? Yeah, I have a beautiful Roddy. I love my Roddy. She's gorgeous. She just left me because I'm boring right now. I believe I've been visited my house by one. One of the first expeditions, I got that creepy watching feeling. Then I got woken up early in the morning with the same feeling in the bedroom. Well, that's awesome, Brian. If you got one coming around, you're special. You know, that's what I have to say about that. Sasquatch just don't interact with any kind of not special people. There's something special about you, is what I would say. So we're doing good for time. Ashley again. Yes, Todd. I've seen the Sasquatch Ontario video, Bigfoot speaking. I don't know what to think of it. I don't really. John Bitternagel got taken out by people in. Sorry, I'm having a little problem here. In hoaxed. I saw them do fake tracks and stuff. I don't know if it's the same group, but so as I was saying, my friend and colleague John Bitternagel got hoaxed, and I convinced him entirely that people gave him some fake tracks and stuff, and so I've been a little down on but I don't know which Ontario group it was. The Japanese talk, I've never heard anything like it, and frankly, it sounds very false. It sounds very human to me. That just sounds like that. I can make that sound. For me, when I hear a Sasquatch sound, I identify it by the power of the audio. They have these huge lungs and it's booming sound, and I just hear human lungs in that. So if it is a Sasquatch, it's not good evidence at all, because a human being could very easily do that. So when I take audio, when I take expeditioners out and we hear a Sasquatch, I give credence to that being a Sasquatch because it's so darn loud. It's so booming, powerful that you know no human being could make that sound. It's so loud. Well, I don't know without maybe a megaphone or something, but it's raw. It's loud. It's powerful. So hey, had an interaction with a juvenile Bigfoot. Yes, many times. I always get scared. I always think of grizzly bear cubs. So yeah, and little ones are all little brave and crazy, and they're doing stuff that scares me. So I don't. Yeah, I worry about. Yeah, I worry about that. So someone asked earlier, does Bigfoot smell bad? I wanted to know also. Well, not normally. If you look into gorillas, gorillas smell bad when they're upset, when they get that angry response. So there's a difference too that I've noted in an acute Sasquatch angry response. They'll get the wind gauge on you, and they'll be mad at you, and you get that sweet kind of Sasquatch smell. It's very similar to gorilla smell. And then you get an old stinky Sasquatch smell, and that's like a bitter smell that Sasquatch has been stinking for a long time, and I've smelled that too. But but when they don't want to smell, when they're not angry, when they're not upset, they don't smell any more than a deer does, right? So it's not very often that when I get a Sasquatch that's giving that odor, that means he's very angry at me and it's a bad day. Usually it's the big guy that's come around, and it's time for me to go. When the big guy comes around and he's angry, he'll pick up my whole trailer and throw it across the freaking, you know. Todd, have you gone to the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee and Alabama? I hear what sounds like chimps all the time and rocks get thrown. And that's Dick James. I would love to travel like that, dude, but I really got to focus on my own research area. Please go out there yourself and see what you can discover, right? But I can't spread myself thin. I need to focus on I would go out to Alabama and this Tennessee and the Smoky Mountains. It would take me 5 years before I started having success. I'm over a decade boots on the ground here in British Columbia Radium, and I'm doing well because of that. So Clint says, "Can you talk, Todd, about interdimensional?" So we're back. Let's see here. I saw a Bob Gimlin question. I know Daniel's back. Todd, what's the biggest mistake you've made about Sasquatch, and what did you learn from it? From my experience, they don't like being mimicked. We had trees shaking at us in a group because we did. Oh my God, Cameron, I have so many mistakes. Well, it's not mistakes; it's just learning. I've had so many learning lessons, but the one that always bothers me the most is when a Sasquatch approached me and very calmly, and I reached for my camera and upset him, and so I've talked about that quite a few times. It's very upsetting. I tell it to expeditioners too. Um, so says who we are procs. Are you from Ontario? That's my girl Danielle from Ontario IT Research. She's one of my mediators and a friend and colleague, someone I trust immensely. The message is getting retracted. That's not good. As a juvenile, Bigfoot behavior way different than an adult? Yes, Mike. Oh my God, yes. The juveniles are crazy and risky, and they're a new generation, and the adults are much more conservative and careful. So, do they wash themselves? Alex, gosh, good question. I've never seen any evidence of that. Really good question. I would assume absolutely yes. I mean, they could jump into those rivers and creeks. There's water sources all over the place, and but for sure, do I know definitively? No. And even theorizing that kind of but they must. You have to stay clean and hygienic, and the fact that most of them don't smell would lead me to think that yeah, absolutely, they jump in those rivers, and I'm jumping in those rivers, and I'm not tough like a Sasquatch with my Iceman training, which I'm doing. And man, that Iceman training, oh my God, it saved me on this expedition. I took expeditioners across a creek that was, I'd say 3 feet deep, and it was flowing super fast, like maybe 10 miles an hour, 15 kilometers an hour. It just sucked the heat out of you, and I had to take them across and sort of guide them, and I had to stay in that creek for like 5 minutes, and I'm telling you that water was freezing cold, like -5 degrees Celsius, like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and just sucked the heat out. I would not have been able to do that if I hadn't done my ice training this year. No way. Do you know if it's the same Sasquatch individuals you're encountering and seeing on expeditions? Yes, same individuals, same group, absolutely. My name is Samuel, live in Brazil, would like to know if there's a Sasquatch in the Amazon. Yes, Samuel, it's the Alush, they call them. and they're not Sasquatch. They're little green, and that's what the people say. Don't mock me. The Aleutians are very famous, very well known, all through South America and into the Mayan culture. But hey, Todd, on your expedition, when you're high up in the mountains, take a staff with you and check the ground for hollow points to see what you find. Okay, those mountains are solid though. The one I smelled growled at me and smelled like a wet dog and burnt electric smell. That was so strong I could taste it. Yeah, yeah, I get a taste when it's strong. That's pretty scary, huh? So congratulations on that though, Brian Wigful. My Bob question, Todd, you ever seen any YouTube channel where Bob Gimlin? If not, watch them. Very interesting approach. Well, I love Bob Gimlin. Bob Gimlin's a hero of mine. I've met him, and yeah, I can't say enough good things about. I just love that guy, and he knows my Sasquatch footage is real. He said he's actually seen a Sasquatch because he did see one because the Patterson footage is real, and he knows my footage is real too. Have you ever done something that made them laugh at you? Yes, Rodney. I went. I I got the being the mouse and the Sasquatch being the cats. I got them to move into a position around me where they walked through beautiful substrate and left tracks. So I was all happy that I got these tracks, super happy. And so I went down the mountain to get my casting material and some water. I came back up and the tracks were all covered. And I heard them do this, not laugh, but just like a, hey, like, ha ha, you're not getting our tracks. And yeah, and I felt funny in the air. It felt like, because I was pissed off, right? They covered their tracks. I never knew they did. Animals don't cover their tracks, but Sasquatch do. So does talking to them calm them down? Absolutely. Primatologists do that with gorillas. I talk nice. I go, hi. Hey, it's Todd, because I'm scared. And I don't want you to kill me, because you're way tougher than I am. Hi. I do that. I don't care if it sounds ridiculous. So when you're out there and you're face to face with these beings that are so monstrously powerful and you know what they're capable of, I give them respect and I talk nice. Hi, it's Todd. So primatologists do that. So primates pick up on that, right? Do you know how old one has to be considered a juvenile versus age of an adult? Well, I just think it's like people, you know. So they get really big when they become adults in their, late teens, and they're smaller when they don't get to those. So, can you see them in infrared spectrum? Can they see? Oh, I don't think so. Definitely not. They stink. Yeah, but no. No, they don't. Only when they're in that acute, dangerous situation. North Olympics, the Dickory part of Nia Bay. I can get the key to Maryland and ring to private land. That's awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. When I was in Nia Bay, I was Nia Bay, the natives there. Yeah, I was. They were really good to me. Everybody was so good to me there. Especially my hosts were amazing, and I'm so excited to go back out there. Do you have any So that was a good question before we got froze up there. Recommendations to get close. So just had a really good question before the freeze up. A man asked me, "What do I do to get closer to them?" You're an indigenous person. Be indigenous. Think about the land. Think about how the Sasquatch must survive, and use the art of love and passion and figure it out. You have to. It's a discovery process. Wherever you live, I can't tell you what they're eating, how they survive, what they like, but giving them a gift is also always a wonderful idea, and learning and feeling things and doing things with your heart, being artful and beautiful, and show love and passion, and love nature. Love nature. If you don't love nature, stay away from the Sasquatch. They'll know it. So that's what I have to say about that. That's the suggestions I have just off the top of my head. Again, I can't tell you is there corn growing certain and what's growing at certain times of year areas, and so many things. And I'd have to get into an area and get boots on the ground for months. And if you live there and you're an indigenous person, you just have to think with your heart and be loving to nature. And what I see too is when Sasquatch respect your love for nature, they want that love of nature to grow. So they will try to teach you things, and you have to be ready to learn that, and you have to be smart, and you have to see things like a tracker. You have to see things like someone who loves and pays attention to everything. Every little thing matters. For God's sake, I found a mushroom that was upside down on a tree, that on a path I was walking on. I looked at it, I was like, what the hell? That doesn't happen naturally. So it's the Sasquatch are trying to communicate and talk to me. What is not possible, however unlikely, is the truth. What does Sherlock Holmes say? whatever whatever is impossible is not possible, and whatever is left, however unlikely, is the truth. And if you can't rule out a mushroom being flipped over on top of a tree nice and high, no animal would do that. No people have been there. And obviously, it was a Sasquatch that did that. So you really got to start thinking outside the box, and then thinking how to just to communicate in whatever way you can. So I'm just answering the question: are they human? The answer is partly, but no. Mostly not. I would think their DNA, and they're the most man-like primate on the planet, but they're not human. Sorry, gorillas don't swim. Do they? know? They don't like to swim, which might be what the Sasquatch figured out. I don't know if Sasquatch can swim or not because they have that nose like we do, and with their big feet, maybe they could swim. I would think not likely, but who knows? Todd, does Sasquatch eat compost? Ooh, sure, I hope not. Ugh. They like good fresh food. I hope wherever they live, they have good abundance with their food. That would be gross for eating compost. But yeah, I would just hope not. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'd like to think they're eating good, fresh, wholesome food that gives them lots of nutrients. When I hear about them potentially killing chicken and eating somebody's dog, that's not a healthy being, and something's wrong with that picture to me. So when I gift them things color blue, and I've had great results. Is there a connection with the color blue? I don't. Yes, I have no idea. That sounds crazy, but this is a crazy discovery process. So if it's not broken, don't fix it. I love but hate nature with black flies. How do you deal with the bugs? Yeah, it's just you can't hate nature, and I if I'm having trouble with bugs that are really bothering me, I'll drink lemongrass in my water, and it keeps them away. You just gotta find a way to not don't hate things. So you gotta love nature purely. I mean, you can dislike the bugs. Don't hate things though. Don't get mad. Colorado Bigfoot on YouTube shows a lot of structures. Have you seen them? If you're talking about Mark Pera, I've seen them. They look really. My heart tells me that looks very legit and very real. So, not to say for sure, but yeah, I don't know. Blue is beautiful. Thank you, Holly. I agree. It's, I think it's my favorite color right now. I Green used to be my favorite color. I change. I'm changing, guys. There are lots of acorns, chickens in the wood, mushrooms, queens, lace, many pines, white spruce, edible, crayfish, fish. Eat the same things. Yeah, yeah, that's great. Pine soap, nature, man. Love it. Any Bigfoots should take classes on woodland forest herbs. Okay. I think that Sasquatch know about woodland herbs and stuff like I couldn't even imagine. Their skills are incredible, amazing. I'm just gonna do a couple more questions, guys. This has been an awesome show. The first one I smelt growled at me and smelled like wet dog. Didn't I do this already? What's going on here? Okay. Steve says, I recently met a new male. He is bolder than the others and curious of me. My last encounter, he walked along the cabin wall and tapped his fingers along the wall. He meant no harm. What should I do? Oof. I don't know. Tap back. Go look at his tracks. Go look for other signs outside. Leave him a gift. Yeah, start trying to communicate. Look for tree breaks. Just so much. Have you seen the Timber Giant Bigfoot video yet? I have not. If I have, I don't remember it. What's the perspective on long-haired Sasquatch? I've heard from many people they're not so nice at all. I don't know that there's a difference between long hair or not. So, hello, Alex. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna do one more question. Peter says, "Do Bigfoot do evil? Shall we bow down and worship them? Make these things our ancient hybrid ancestors, never meant to exist. They're literally, well, they're not evil. Bears kill baby deer, and so do wolves. They're not evil. They're just surviving and doing their job, and they're creating balance in nature. So, and there's certainly, I mean, they're going to be Sasquatch that are bad, but they're certainly not evil. And some Sasquatch are angry and don't like people, and they probably have very good reason for it. Maybe somebody shot at them or killed one of their offsprings or killed their dad. So you never know what the circumstances are. But I work around the Sasquatch I work with and interact with are very agreeable and very happy to have me. So I think that'll be it for today, guys. Thanks for all the awesome questions. What would I give as a gift? Something I love apples. I give apples all the time. So and yeah. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for Daniel for coming on again, and Phil and Atar. I hope you can come back often, Atar. It's wonderful. How can I have an expedition with you? If you just go to my website. My website is discoveringbigfoot.org. There's a forum there that you can chat about, and yeah, you can go if you go to discoveringbigfoot.org and you go to the expeditions page. You just find the link there, send me an email, have a read through, and yeah, get back to me. So really awesome show today, guys. Thank you so much. And I'm 90% sure I'll be back next week. I'm not my me going out. I'm kind of secret about my expeditions for good reason. Next week, you can see it on Facebook. I should be more responsible with that, but my life is so bloody crazy with all this stuff going on right now, and I'm all over the place all the time. So there's two television shows coming out with me this year. There would have been a lot more, but I've had some big issues. But anyways, yeah, it was awesome, guys. So and we'll just catch up next week. Thank you so much. Have a good one.